Oh, they said, should they be writing their legislature, or would that hurt Pete?
No, it can only help. Um, you know, here's what happens in cases like this. You may think that your opinion doesn't matter, but it does, and it sways the hearts and minds of these of governors, and they if you can get a governor or a senator or congressman to start weighing in on stuff like this, um, you know, the judge looks at that stuff, and so does the prosecutor. The one thing that the prosecutor believes that he has here, um, in the Oregon case, is that um, Ammon Bundy didn't act on moral authority. He didn't have the backing of the people like they did at Bundy Ranch, you know,
Mhm.
and and we have to, we have to prove them wrong. That that while you may not agree with what Emmett Bundy did or how he did it, um, but you also have to let them know that neither do you agree with what the government has done here, and the circumstances that brought all of this about, and their responsibility in this. You know, I think they have to be reminded of that daily, and they have to be reminded uh, in a logical way, and approached, in a sensical way. And I think it can only help writing the governor of Oregon, Kate Brown. Um, she had a lot to do with what happened there. I don't know if you guys have read the emails that were released from her office, the correspondence that was going on back and forth from her office um, to Burns and to Harney County, um, where she was her office right down to telling Sheriff Ward what to say to the press, and what to look like, and how to come across, prompting them. She was very influential on what happened there. Especially, there were a lot of other legislators, especially the liberal ones, who were writing her and demanding that she do something, and do something she did. And Loretta Lynch also. You know, uh, they put a lot of pressure on the FBI and on the State Highway Patrol and local law enforcement to do what they did. And what they did made absolutely no sense. I put out a post not too long ago about, there was no standoff in Burns, Oregon. There was an ambush, but there was
Right.
never a standoff, because being watchful, and journaling, like Pete and I were doing. We saw these guys come and go from that refuge as they pleased. They drove into town. They ate dinner and breakfast and lunch at local establishments. Um, I saw them walk up to law enforcement and shake hands and tell jokes, and laugh, and so I never once saw a law enforcement presence up at Malheur when we were up there reporting. There was never anything like that. The people in Burns, I don't know if the gentleman is still here from Burns, but I'm sure he can attest to this. That these guys were coming and going. They were even going to church um, in town. They were going to public meetings. Law enforcement was present, and they could have at any time, um, you know, hauled those guys in. They could have pulled them over, and they could have done that, but they chose to do it a different way, and they chose to do it a violent way. Especially knowing that the situation was volatile. A lot of people have suggested that they don't understand why they didn't just wait them out, and the reason they didn't wait them out was because Kate Brown, um, she amped it up. She put the heat on, and it became hot because of her actions. I truly believe that.
I will verify that yes, they were in town. I remember one time while my wife and I went to Safeway. I just got to Safeway and I saw Lavoy and his wife
Hmm.
driving off from Safeway.
Yep.
I mean, it's like, wait, no, seat right there. And then there's the meeting at the Crystal Crane Hot Springs that Lavoy, Ammond, and a few others were there trying to teach the ranchers what their constitutional right was, what was really happening. And a lot of people were there. Now, one thing I will say to any of those naysayers, well, they haven't had a lot of backing from the locals. Honestly, they did have a lot of backing. The problem is, small towns like this, especially this one, there's a certain way that the locals will back. I mean, they never went hungry. They had crap load of food. Uh,
Right.
Anytime people would see them, they would either walk away quickly if they did not approve of them, or they'd stop and chat with them. I don't know about going to the churches or anything, but I do believe they were able to, no problem. I saw them in town
It did.
multiple.
Hmm.
The thing is, this small town, you either agree and you're up there talking with them, or you disagree and you walk away. You don't want the big conflict. You don't want the. Plus, the FBI was here in force and scaring the crap out of everybody.
Hmm.
Of course, not every. The, I swear, I think about three-quarters of this town was fleeing.
Hang on, you guys. That's Pete calling me.
Oh, okay.
Jailhouse Rock.
This call is subject to recording and monitoring. To accept
Tell me if you
charges,
guys can
press
hear this.
1. To
Yes, we
accept
can.
charges. Thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
Hi, Pete. Hi. Listen, I want to let you know that I'm live on air right now and everybody can hear you. Is that okay?
They can.
Can you guys hear him?
Yeah,
You
we can, Pete.
heard me and how excited I am over here. The
Yeah,
real deal.
yeah.
Who are you live on the air with?
I'm on the. It's called the Underground Resistance Network, and it's a Google Hangout, and everybody just wants to say hello to you.
Hey,
Hi, Pete.
Hello, Pete.
Just, if you don't mind me saying so, right now, America is in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. America is in trouble in the following way. When somebody like myself gets taken off the streets for speaking his mind and being critical of the people that are running our government. Not our government, but the people that are running our government. That's why I'm in trouble. And Deb, I'm glad you're on with them. You're telling as many people as you possibly can about our story. But we have a bunch of political prisoners here that stood up and did the right thing. And in my case, I said the right things. You know, I said it loud. I said it with controversy. But until my arrest, it wasn't illegal to do that. But now we discover that the people that I was critical towards, they want to outlaw speaking out against them. And now who's the burden on? On me to prove my way out of this? Well, I'm going to do my absolute darndest. But guess what? It's people like yourselves that need to step up and help save our country. You need to express your outrage. And what's happening here? Everyone sees what's happening with how our country's been run into the dirt, even dating back to 2007, 2008, the banking system. I know our government's got some trouble, but I don't want to go too far and take up too much airtime. But those are my comments.
Well, I think everybody's just really happy to hear you getting a great response in their chat room here. And everybody was asking about letters and how to write you guys. And why don't you know what, Pete? Why don't you just tell everybody what it's like on a daily basis from when you get up in the morning, and not only that, but tell people how it feels to have your liberty stripped away from you, and
Well,
how you're coping with that.
I I will say this. They've obviously, by doing this, they've literally bankrupted me. Okay, and that's what they do. To silence people, to shut them down. A radio talk show host like me, you take me off the street, shut my business down. That just takes my income away. That bankrupts me. My biggest anxiety, of course, Deb, is, as you know, I've said this before. My biggest anxiety is making sure that you're taken care of. We've got a lot of support, a lot of people providing support, and this is one of the ways that we rebound. We counter what the government deals to us when they try to bankrupt and silence people. Is we've got a bunch of people that are supporting Deb right now and helping her so that she can help do the legal work. And so my day, believe it or not, every day, before I go to sleep, I make sure that I say a prayer and say, please take care of Deb. Make sure that things don't get too out of control. And I thank God for our supporters. It's actually very heartbreaking to know that my country has gotten to the point to where I have to be incarcerated for my words, and my fellow inmates know this as well. So we receive a lot of support internally, and they say what's being done to you guys and you, is very, very wrong. But I'm gonna tell you. I don't know. Can you hear me? Okay. There's a lot of static on mine here.
I hear that. I hear the static. Yep.
I'm going to tell you, this is what I say every night, especially recently. Okay, as I'm becoming much more optimistic because of support we're getting on the outside. Legislators, okay, Michelle Fiore in Nevada, for instance, is working tirelessly. A lot of legislators in Arizona and Utah are being contacted by our listeners, by our supporters, and they're being encouraged to pay attention to these constitutional issues. Okay. So we're getting a lot of support. So now I'm saying to myself every day, I'm actually becoming proud to be associated with this effort, and I'm literally looking at my incarceration as a sacrifice for everyone else. I'm glad that not everybody has to go through this, and I mean this. I mean this sincerely. And I'm much more optimistic that we're going to have a positive outcome. And I'm saying to myself, you know what? This is a sacrifice that I have to make. I'm trying to go through, but this is what we have to go through to make our point. And I'm willing to do that. And I wasn't willing. I say, I've said it before. When we had, guns pointed at us by people that work for the U.S. government, guns pointed at unarmed protesters. I've never run around with a gun, and I've had guns pointed at me. And I said, you know what? We're going to stand up for our rights here. We have to be prepared to die. When I say prepared to die, it's not like I want to kill somebody. That means that if they want to kill me in this effort, that'll be some pretty serious stuff that we're standing up for. And it is. Standing up for our families. Standing up for our land. That's where our wealth comes from. That's what these constitutional issues are about, or protecting what we were born and sent here with. A right to speak out. A right to come and go freely, a right to be critical of the government, as our First Amendment says, and a right to defend ourselves, like in the Second Amendment. These are God-given rights, and I have to make a sacrifice here temporarily. It's all worth it, just as long as everyone that's hearing my voice does something about it as well. Okay, that's the most important element. It's not how much I fight or how much we do in the courtroom. It's how much the people like yourself that are hearing my voice right now are willing to do to stand up and say, you know what, we need to make things right here in America, and you need to speak out as well. And don't be afraid to. And do it with courage and determination, and do it peacefully, of course.
Well, there you go. There you go. It's people have a lot of questions about what's going on. Now, you're going to be going back to Oregon within hours, probably. Tell everybody what you're facing once you get back to Oregon from this point forward to September 7th when they start jury selection.
Okay, I'm going to be actually transported tomorrow morning on Con Air, okay? And if you know what Con Air is, I'm going to be boarding a U.S. Marshal's plane. I will be literally, as a man, okay, by the way, who is a radio talk show host, who spoke out critically about the government. I will be in shackles, in a belly chain. I will have my arms handcuffed, and I will be strapped to a seat. Okay? This is somebody who, I call them my presumption of innocence chains. Okay? Presumption, because you're presumed innocent until proven guilty, of course, but you certainly don't look that way. So I'm going to be transported up to Portland tomorrow. When I get up there, I'll be put in solitary confinement, because they've got something I call the prison industrial complex that puts you through their little bureaucratic classification scheme. And it takes a couple of days to where they put you out in the general population. And then, of course, then I will be told when I can and can't take a look at my legal documents and start defending myself, looking at all the overwhelming amount of evidence that exists. And I mean overwhelming. An overwhelming amount of evidence that they collect on Facebook. These are Facebook trials, Facebook, YouTube, comments, and all that stuff that you guys are doing right now can and will be held against you in a court of law. Okay? And we have to pour through reams of data between now and September. So what I will be doing is doing my absolute hardest to defend myself while behind bars without internet access. Okay? That's another thing that they do to strangulate us. They have not released very many people, especially me, because they know that if I have access to the internet, I can actually defend myself. But I will, as of right now, they have not let me out because they said that my words caused me to be a danger to society. So they won't let me out. Well, that's code for let's keep him off the internet so that he can't defend himself and make his life miserable between now and jury selection. Hey, Deb, I need to tell everybody, here's the most positive thing that you guys can do for me personally. Okay, when I get up to Portland, and stay tuned to our Facebook page, and you get the address and say, go ahead and send mail to me up there, you guys, I live, okay? And I can't write back to everybody because I get quite a bit of mail, but I read every single card, every postcard, every letter, and I literally live for that. It's almost like a thirst for getting my mail call, because I know that there's people out there that really care about what's going on. So please send me your mail, send me your postcards, and don't be afraid that you don't know me. Don't be afraid to handwrite, a letter and realize that how significant that is for somebody like me. Somebody that sits there and handwrites even a few notes saying, hey, Pete, I just wanted to let you know I'm there for you. I'm thinking about you. This is what's going on in my life. And you're handwriting it. Well, times have changed. People don't interact that way anymore. And I'm actually getting that interaction, that personal interaction with people in the outside world. And you couldn't buy that amount of sentiment for me. It means a lot to me. So be sure to write.
That's awesome,
okay?
Pete. Yeah.
Any other questions? For people in the chat room?
Okay, guys, listen up. Pete is willing to answer questions. What do we got for him? I know you've got a lot there. Come on, get writing. What do we got?
Can you hear her, Pete?
No.
Okay. She's telling everybody to give you questions. So
Deb, tell him that we need a ponytail report.
Okay. Yeah. One of the big things I found out tonight is everybody is interested in your ponytail. Yes.
This is the longest that my hair has ever been, and I'm going to tell you where that originated from. Okay, I was always Joe Corporate America suit by. There's pictures of me out there that show my regular hair length ever since I was 10 years old. Right, and even younger than that, 5 years old. I always had a trim cut. And my hair never went up over my ears. This is the longest that my hair has ever been. And it's mainly, some people in the media, okay, have referred to me as a self-styled journalist, okay? I am absolutely the opposite of anything the mainstream is presenting to their viewers and their listeners. I think I look a lot more like regular Americans, okay? I don't need to be all perfectly manicured, to attract a broader audience. You know what? I'm looking like myself comfortably as the majority of people are. And not all Americans are pretty, and I'm living proof of that. So, right? And I started to grow my hair out, and I feel comfortable with it. I like it, and I'm going to do it. And I'm still going to be a successful militant broadcaster, as they call me. I'm going to be a broadcaster with a ponytail, long hair. I wore a cowboy hat up in Malheur, when I was hanging out with the Cowboys, and I liked it. I wear a baseball cap, and I can't wait to the day when I can wear a trucker's hat and put my ponytail through the freaking hole in the back.
Somebody just said long hair like Samson. Think on that, Pete.
Hey, long hair like who?
Samson.
Like Samson.
Yeah, from the Bible. Samson from the Bible, who his strength was in his hair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We do have a question, Deb.
Okay, go ahead.
Somebody wants to know, did they let the Naked Constitution pages that were sent to him through, and did they let the 40 jokes through?
Okay, someone wants to know if they let the Naked Constitution through to you, and the jokes.
Naked Constitution and the jokes. Yes, I love getting jokes, you guys. I absolutely love getting jokes. People do that. I'm going to have to call back, by the way. I love receiving jokes. I did receive portions of the Naked Constitution, and somebody sent me a book, and it was actually stuck in my quote-unquote property, which is in a bag up front, and I won't get it until tomorrow. But those books need to come from the publisher, otherwise they quote-unquote confiscate them, that's why I call them a non-tube regime.
Right.
The book that's waiting for him is from Jeff.
Yeah, I think that's what they did back in Nazi Germany, too.
Okay, so they're saying that the book that's waiting for you is from Jeff.
It's from Jeff Hayes. He was sending you pages of the book, I believe.
Oh, he's sending pages of the book. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I love Jeff Hayes and his materials. Yeah, I love his stuff. He's been sending me actually groups of pages of his own book.
Okay, so he is getting them. Good.
And I love Jeff Hayes.
Thank you for using Securus. Goodbye. The caller has hung up. Thank you for.
Well, that's okay, you guys. He'll call right back if you want to listen to him.
What a treat to hear him talk to us.
Isn't it great? I get to
Oh,
talk to him,
wow.
and I smile every time he calls me. He's so upbeat, you guys, and
Very upbeat.
you know what? I mean, seriously, you would think that it would be the other way around, but he cheers me up. Up there he is. There's his ringtone.